Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing out there? Welcome to another episode of New York State Music in Motion, sponsored by the Helping Friendly Salve. You can go to the helpingfriendlysalve.com. Natural hemp seed, good for topicals and treatments. Shout out to Cat Audio for the awesome headphones supplying. Little dirtbag clothing here. All right, today we have added color in the building. This is the first full band, well, almost full band interview that we had so far. How you guys doing?
Pretty great, man. How are you?
Pretty good. The weather's still staying pretty warm here. Not too bad.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I keep looking forward to fall, but New York, it's like it gives you a hint and then it pulls it back. It's like this little tug of war with the weather.
Yeah, or it's really cold just the whole time. It's rainy, foggy.
New York.
Nice. So now you guys, have you all been from New York or are you from different areas?
Actually, none of us are originally from New York.
Oh, okay.
I'm from Brazil. My brother, who's the drummer and singer, Daniel, he's also from Brazil, Massachusetts, and DC area.
So what is that like coming from your musical influences with that and throwing it into your music?
I mean, my brother and I started playing music together since we were kids, so we had a completely different band. And one thing we always tried to mix in was the rhythmic element from Brazil, because it's one of I think the coolest part. There's so many layers to it.
Yeah.
And then with added color, we all come from different backgrounds, but I think we try to use a lot of Brazilian syncopation in a sneaky way in our music. But I think the most important thing is that there's groove, which is, no matter how complex Brazilian music is, it's just always groovy. And that's what we really try to capture with our music.
Yeah. The whole song, it doesn't kind of lose that,
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely alt rock. I hear some pop. I hear Rage in there.
One of our favorite bands, man. We actually do a Bulls on Parade cover when we're on tour. When touring was a thing, we used to do that a lot.
Nice. What other bands influence you guys? We'll start on over my left.
It's funny, in the group, there's actually like a really wide spectrum of influences that's just all over the board. Like, I know me and Danny kind of came up, who would be on my left.
I actually think we did this backwards.
We might have, yeah, whatever. Anyway, we come from more of almost like a funk soul blues background, even, where it's just like the other two guys come from more of a heavier background and kind of meets in the middle. But for actual bands, I know there's a lot of Queens of Stone Age for me. We go across the board. Arctic Monkeys, at least the last two albums, is played pretty frequently in the van. Some of us love Mars Volta. We get pretty proggy. Definitely, we're recently just driving around listening to a lot of classic rock. So
I heard the prog rock in there too. Definitely.
It's like a 2020 prog rock. It's shorter songs, but they're still kind of proggy.
Prog rock.
Yeah, it's not like 20-minute gigantic stuff. So what about you there, Danny?
Growing up, I mean, my favorite band was always the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I grew up on a lot of like 70s funk, like Funkadelic, Parliament, Sly and the Family Stone, Curtis Mayfield. I could go on and on, but that kind of stuff. A lot of hip hop. I have an Outkast tattoo.
So, all right.
Hip hop, reggae, rock. It's like kind of where I come from. Stuff with the most interesting bass players.
What about your drummer?
Dan and I would grow up listening to the same things because we're brothers. He's a big brother, so kind of listened to what he did. But we grew up listening to a lot of metal, obviously from Brazil, Sepultura. We always loved Slipknot, Metallica, and whatnot.
Yeah,
I think
Metallica,
the biggest metalhead in the band. And then we got linked up with the Gojira people in the studio here in New York. So we recorded their studio and got, their engineer does all our stuff. So I think the whole band ended up getting into heavier stuff just from that. But Gojira is definitely one in the heavier spectrum, one of the, I think, coolest new bands out there. Even though they've been going at it for a while, they've been really making a difference now, especially.
Yeah.
I've been really digging that.
Well, I seen the System of the Down your drummer sang.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, dude.
So much like Surge. It started as a joke, actually, because he used to sing in the shower all the time, and he'd be like, like it. So that kind of just happened.
Yeah, it was surprising because I listened to some of your original music first, and then all of a sudden in the searches it came, Added Color, System of the Down. I go, oh, maybe you guys toured with them for some reason, but I go, that's kind of interesting. Like, but it was that cover.
When we played that in Brazil, and a lot of people thought he was the original. They thought that he was the bass player for System of a Down, and it was kind of
yeah, kind of looks like him a little bit. Yeah,
there were some language barrier miscommunications where they were asking me if I was the guy from System of a Down, and I was like, "Oh yeah, System of a Down. We played that song." But then, based on their reaction, I realized pretty quickly that they thought I was.
Yeah, just roll with it. Be like, yeah, it was a couple years ago with our original
I really
guy.
don't like to talk about it, honestly.
Yeah, bad subject. Let's move on. That's pretty cool. I was gonna say. So the next thing is, I think it's cool that you guys have it's in studio live music videos, which is neat. It's kind of dare I say, it's 50s, 60s, 70s. That's what they used to do. You go in a studio or on a talk show and you do it that way. And now is that a live performance, or are you playing along with some of the click and stuff like that for the video?
No, those are all live. What we're trying to do is, I saw a few bands that we like, Highly Suspect, Nothing But Thieves, they were doing it at the time, and we're like, oh, it's a really cool way to kind of see what the band sounds like live.
I think I opened for that band, Highly Suspect. I remember them.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool seeing, you listen to them on Spotify, whatever, you don't really know what's going on in the studio, but we want to be like, this is what we sound like live, and it's in this cool controlled environment. But
yeah,
it was kind of like a no bullshit, this is transparent version of Added Color.
Did you do it all in one day, or did you do it kind of spread out?
No, all one day.
Nice.
Actually, we did Panic Attack and About to Break in the same day. So,
okay. Do you ever run into where it's like you got the take and it's like the last measure and you screw it up and you go, we got to do it again?
We try to find the line between keeping the feel of it, even if it means screwed up.
Yeah.
Versus, let's kind of get it perfect or whatever. But we try to just find the balance there. I think it was Miles Davis too that said, if it's only a mistake, what defines it as a mistake is the next note you play. I'm paraphrasing. So if it's the last measure, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because you got to do it all over again.
It's not a mistake if you do it twice. So you just screw up twice and then you're good. It was on purpose.
It's true. I forgot.
Yeah. Or 10 times, and then the 11th time is the charm.
And that's how you write a song.
Yeah. That was in the classical world who said he knew someone who messed up in one performance, and they're like a chamber orchestra or whatever. And like the guy kept making the same mistake at the same time on purpose after that to pretend like it was,
Oh, gotcha. That's a good one.
Yeah.
You're hitting a minor note. That's cool. That's actually cool. It's not bad because sometimes if it's drums is more forgiving, right? If you I'm supposed to hit this cymbal or something instead, but it was supposed to be the China, even if you forgot the whole one part of the beat on it, you can still kind of get away with that a little bit. But guitar is tough. What about bass? I mean, I haven't ever played bass live, so I don't really know.
Yeah, I usually make a point just to not know any of our songs. So then it's like all my choices are artistic and none of them are mistakes.
We're actually like a free jazz band, and we just happen to come into sync every time.
Yeah,
the same song. I don't know what it is.
It's it's similar. It's similar to guitar, where it's like if you play a wrong note, it's going to be fairly obvious to the listener. So yeah, it's always good to know the music.
Absolutely. And we are a band that makes a point. There's so many rock bands that you can't even hear the bass. And for us, it's a really important thing that the bass is as important as another instrument. So
yeah. No, you guys are tight. I've seen some of the live videos.
Thank you.
I like that. And your records, man, the sound on it is like, I don't know how to say it's simpled. It doesn't sound like mega layered, but it sounds layered, and it's real clear and it's real thick.
Thanks, man.
So props to whoever mixed that stuff.
Thank you. Well, we really try to, I think kind of a rule we have is like what you hear on the record. We really want people to be able to have a similar experience live. Of course,
yeah, does sound similar.
But I don't like it when I go watch a band live and I'm like, wait, this is not even the same song,
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a sound guy that goes with you to make sure that all that stuff's right?
We do. We do. Also depends on the show, but usually, yeah. We've recently switched over, but we've had a guy we've been working with for a few years. He travels with us to Morocco, does all our shows here. So that's been a really cool part of, it's almost like a different band member in that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Queuing up the delay at the right part, where you're like, where the automation is. So that's a really cool part.
He's got to know.
Yeah.
He's got to know. Like Metallica's got a guy that presses the button that switches from distortion to clean to whatever. And I was like, they're so pampered, man. They just play the part and it's going to switch. I know it's going to switch.
Great.
It's coming.
No pedals,
No, nothing. Just a wah for Kurt,
Use it for you while it's on you.
Exactly. That's cool, though. You guys love Rage and that kind of stuff. Because I did hear a metal, not besides your drummer, but a metal background influence somewhere in there.
Yeah, and I got to say we're embracing it more and more. I think, whether it's because of the current climate, the political climate, and just the world, I think it's coming out more and more the more we write. Just like I want to headbang, and we're really embracing that.
Yeah, it's attitude. I mean, it's your music is not dark. I mean, like rock is going dark to darker to black hole. You know what I mean? And it's too much. Where there's a few artists I notice now they're coming up that are combining stuff that, we were talking about the 80s Metallica and 90s and stuff like that. And it's filtering into that style, but it's not so dark that it's like, this is just depressing all the time, but you guys, you got the beat going on. So it's like, I don't know. It's like a double. It's like you got a little bit of dark thing going on, but then you have the prog rock and the funk and all that kind of stuff.
Thank you. Yeah.
So you use the same gear live as in the studio, or do you have like, I'm going to reach for these guitars and this amp?
Interesting question. So for the EP, we're getting ready to release. The guitar we ended up using for a lot of the takes was a guitar my buddy found in the trash. It was a Washburn. Never used it live.
Really?
We took our Gibson Les Paul to the studio. We had great strats, amazing things, and for some reason, for what we wanted, we just wanted to use this guitar, which is very unusual for us, I'd say.
Yeah.
But we do use usually we do use this similar gear, but I thought it was pretty unique for this EP we're putting out that there's this guitar that just kind of lived in the studio experience. That was pretty cool. Funny, we were listening to a lot of Cake at the time. And I love the guitar tone, and it was just Washburn came out, and that's not really what they used, but it was like, oh, here's a semi-hollow, and
okay, yep.
We were like, it just kind of made sense for our cleans. Now for our heavier parts, we didn't use it. It was more of like a clean tone.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. So what kind of pedals and stuff do you guys use?
This guy's got more pedals than I do.
Oh man, kind of whatever I can find. Usually I have like my live setup, which makes its way onto the recordings. But when you're in the studio and they have like the wall of pedals, and you take like 30 minutes and kind of maybe find like a distinctive tone that you want to use for the album. But it's not even too many. I'm not the biggest gear guy when it comes to pedals. I almost just see like the colors. I'm like, oh, that red one sounds great. I don't even know who made
yeah.
boss. And I go with that. But I know there's a lot on this EP. There's a lot of the Rat. And this Rat was like 20, 30 years old, and it was really beat up. And it was like every time you weren't playing, it was just like feedback like crazy. It's like, all right, just don't stop playing, and it'll sound awesome.
Yeah.
Battery, if you didn't have the battery in the right way. And this studio, we recorded Silvercord, Gojira's studio, they're like, Joe and especially the studio manager as well, Jamie, they're like addicted to these crazy pedals. So they had pedals I'd never heard of, really, and never cool, like the astronaut reverb. That one. Amazing. Things I've never seen before and that I never saw again. But it was like what they had like 30 pedals. You're like, okay, this one, so.
Yeah, they know too. They just say, "What sound you go for? What do you want? You want a reverb? Okay, let me show you this reverb. This is like a rare special edition." Yeah, that's cool though. Yeah, some people they like to collect this stuff too, which I could see that. They're all nice looking in their own ways, and they come from different countries. They're all different. Some have tubes in them. Now they're making them. They have preamps built in.
No, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out. like very unique little, like one guy in his garage probably making just like handmade pedals for like to order.
Yeah, you get like 100 of them in the world, you know.
Some of those are the strongest sounding because there's less wiring and stuff in them. It's more direct, you know, which is cool.
Yeah, I use the Kemper Live, and in the studio for like weird effects. I like to kind of come up with a lot of effects, just combining a bunch of different effects. So you know, this EP, there's a lot of that, but for like, I ended up not using too much of the Kemper for straight up, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, for like recording like straight up riff, I just like to have like head and cabinet, you know, just like the classic way.
Do you like the analog into the digital, or do you don't mind certain things, or?
I don't have a rule with that. I think it depends on what the part is asking for. You know, sometimes digital is awesome. You know, I'm not like, oh, either you have to do digital or analog. It's like, you know,
some people are.
Yeah, I don't share that. I think it depends what you're going for.
Yeah, it depends on the song and a lot of things. It's cool. I had a song done that I haven't did an analog transfer in a while, but I did it to a mix afterwards, and you hear the difference, and it's like, I was like, that's cool. I like that. So I think I'm gonna start doing that more often.
It's inconsistent in a cool way, right?
Yeah, it kind of thickens up low ends. It takes that digital real like high signal and brings it down a little bit and brings out the guitars a little more. It's neat. I like it. So producers and mixer wise, you guys want to give a shout out to who you've been working to, because they're impressive, I think, on your records.
So for this EP, we got Jamie Ertz. He did a lot of work with Blind Melon. He still does when they do tour, and he's one of the co-managers at the Gojira studio. And then Johan Meyer, who he mixed the whole EP, and we become, you know, going to meet him for beers after this. So
they're all in New York.
So Jamie just moved to Atlanta. He's big. He's, you know, around that scene a lot. And then also Victor Ersch for mastering the whole thing. So yeah, we ended up working with a lot of friends who are just talented, and we're lucky to have all these
nice
buddies.
You got to get along with it. You ever been in a situation where maybe a producer or somebody, it's not gelling, or you're like, this guy is, you get that feeling of like you're a little nervous. You know what I mean?
No, so it's funny you say that. That's happened. One of the things I think is so cool about working with people that you're close with is that I think that happens in like inevitably you're going to be in the situation in the studio if you're working on a long project where you're not gelling. But when you're close, you just yell at each other, tell you guys to go, you know, go fuck yourself, and you come back and like, oh, let's have a beer. And then it comes back even stronger. Like my brother and I are Latino, so we're very explosive no matter what. We're going to like start yelling at each other, and we don't hold back. And then at the end we come back, have a beer, hug it out, and then I truly believe the end product is better because of that. Yeah. So you need to have a little bit of energy, you know.
Yeah, you got to say like, that part sucks, dude. You got to go back, rewrite it. You know, because sometimes the guys are like so set on, especially if it's a guy you can't approach to even say that. You got to be able to say that and still be friends, you know.
Yeah, because that's ego. If you can't accept, you know, the idea is you're working together towards something as a, you know, one product in the end. Nobody cares about if you're butthurt about the fact that your guitar part wasn't there. Or
I noticed that you guys are up front too, like that. That's cool.
Another thing about the studio is I've noticed every time we go and do a recording session, it's like the communication is just that much more seamless than the last time, and the ability to not take suggestions in a personal way is like, that goes away. Like, just the more you work with the same group of people, the more all those like kind of frivolous, unnecessary kind of arguments go away.
Yeah.
Hey, we are trying to create the best possible piece of music, and it doesn't matter if that bass riff that is actually super awesome and should be there. If it's not there, you know, like, fine. But
yeah, and I like, you know, Tim and I both play guitar in the band, obviously, and it's like, if there's a part that I'm trying to play and I'm like, you know what, I might have written this part, but it'll sound better if you play it. Goes ahead.
Yeah.
There's none of that crap either, which is cool. It's like,
like, dude, I need that melody, that pre-chorus. That melody's mine.
No, we actually we do the opposite. We're like, no, you take this solo. I don't feel like doing that.
Yeah.
I want to go chill. You go shred, man, or something.
So, over COVID wise, how has it changed things for you guys? Because I know you played out a lot and stuff. Have you been? I know you're working on new music, but as far as like online shows or maybe a little different plan for when the shows start to come back in, or
I mean, we've had a lot of shows canceled. We had 2 tours booked. I think we're close to like 55 shows been canceled. So it was
yeah,
like, man, what do we do? So we really took the time to kind of go back and we're like, okay, we can't play shows, so let's work on our craft and kind of develop that. And we just got into doing live stream concerts, and we'll be doing more and more of those. So it's definitely different, but it is what it is, and it just feels good to be playing. So we're down to do it.
do you do it through a certain platform or?
We've been doing it. We're just getting going with it, but focusing on Facebook, YouTube, but probably going to stick mostly to YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all different. That's the thing. It's just I don't believe I've heard a lot of people be very apocalyptic about it and say, "Oh, shows are done forever." It's like, no, we just have to hold on to this for now and play the way we have to play. And it's interesting to see how much of rock music, especially, is about the live concert, the concert experience of having an audience and be able to jump up and down and get in each other's faces. It's really
sweat a little bit. You don't sweat as much doing online.
The band, it's about the audience too. So, but it's we got to just keep playing.
What do you play for Click Live too? Do you play to a Click or you just play free?
Free. It's just something that doesn't appeal to us. No, a lot of people, mad respect to a lot of people who do.
Yeah.
For me, I think we just feel that we'd like to be able to kind of like push and pull depending on the night, and have every day be a little different, and sometimes rise a little bit and feel something or just
prolong something.
Another hit. Yeah. One of the advantages of having the drums in the front is I could go behind the drums and like say something in his ear, like, "All right, let's do this."
I got you. That's cool.
Yeah. So there's a lot of, it makes every show special. That's what we like to do.
We also have a unbelievable beast of a drummer who can make it feel like we have a click even if there isn't one. So
that helps.
He's solid.
Yeah, Click is a lot of rock bands use them. I use them even with my drummer, and for me it's just I don't know, that the same tempo of the song will be the same, because I have a tendency of going on and playing it like 10 or 20 dB faster, or something like that. So it's cool. And then for me it's I can have less band guys with me. It's just me and a drummer. The bass is on the Click with some of the extra stuff. But then believe it or not, you can pull a little bit based off, because I don't listen to it. Only the drummer does. Gotcha. So I'm in my own little kind of area, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I just know he's.
Deal with the...
Yeah, I don't want to hear click, click, click. You're trying to sing a note and you're singing it to the click, the sound. It's like, But I know he's like the drummer's holding down the fort. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's important for a lot of kinds of music. I just think for added color, it's just not something that it doesn't make sense for music at the moment. Not against it, but.
So your music videos, what are some of your ideas? Because I know some of them are a little trippy and actually a little, I don't want to say random, but they're psychedelic-ish at some points. At least the one I saw.
I'm assuming you watched Same Place. That was
you were in various locations, like all over. Yeah.
So that one was done in Morocco. It was like we're on tour in Morocco, and we had a videographer with us who's also director of the Psycho music video and our Secret music video. And he's like, I want to make a music video for this song because there's a psychedelic vibe to it. And it was really crazy because he just film us playing live and then be like, okay, walk here, and I walk this way, and sometimes not say anything. And then all of a sudden he just edited that, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
But it also made a lot of sense with the song. Kind of felt like you're in a dream, But we've moving forward. We just finished filming a music video for the song. We just put out Something Better, so that should be coming out in November at some point. One of the craziest music video shoots I've ever done in my life. So you'll see when it comes out. There's some fire involved. There's going to places we shouldn't have been.
Nice.
So yeah,
Guerrilla. They call it guerrilla filmmaking.
Guerrilla
Just go
filmmaking.
out.
Yeah,
Love it.
it was a lot of fun.
Do you draw from movies? Do you like certain movies styles?
Yeah, we did that a lot, especially for the color correction part.
Oh yeah.
Like a movie that we love the color correction for is The Joker, the most recent one. So it was like we used that as a reference for the color correction, and really
Okay.
it was like a post-apocalyptic, but still had colors pop a lot.
Yeah.
That red and that the green, and so it was
Mm.
really cool. But we also do. It's a very collaborative process. We work with we know a lot of video just filmmakers who know a lot about it, and they really help direct us.
Yeah.
Sometimes hit them with like absurd ideas and like, okay, wait a minute, let's try this. So
Yeah. You ever done a black and white music video? Because I think that would be funny. Because
we have to add color.
yeah, exactly. Or the color is like just starting to get seeped in a little bit. By the end, it's there. But it's like what they used to call it in the '60s. Something color. You know what I'm talking about? Like the Towering Inferno. Like hyper color or something it was called. Yeah. That would be sick. Something like that.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah. I like that idea, actually.
Black and
We
white.
tried that with photography for a little bit, but we weren't like, it didn't work out as much, but maybe with film.
Video might be where it's at. Yeah.
So your background, you guys, when you all met together and you're like, all right, we're going to form a band. What was the idea for the band? Like, where did you want to go? Did you know directly this is kind of the sound we want and all that kind of stuff, or did it find itself?
Actually, we started because my brother and I were in a band called Unconscious Disturbance, and the band kind of like broke up, and we tried to keep going. And I had met Tim playing jazz, and we're like, oh, I know this guitar player. Let's get him to replace our current guitar player. And then we're like, we need a bass player. We found him on Craigslist. And
yeah, that's the best spot.
Yep. And then best spot for a lot of things, I guess, but depends what you're into. But
yeah.
We started playing. It kind of felt after a while that we're just being a cover band of our old band. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're like, okay, we started just jamming more and more, and just didn't make sense. And we're like, let's just take it to our own direction and really embrace what everyone has to bring to the table. And it just kind of happened very organically. And after that, we were like, we can't be called Unconscious Disturbance anymore. We're not a metal band anymore.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, what is this music? Let's kind of come up with what we want to talk about, and Added Color came from that.
And then you played with Muse.
Yeah. Well, that was same festival. So
yeah, that must have been huge. They're a great band too.
We ended up playing actually before same night as Suicidal Tendencies.
Okay.
So that was fun. And then we all got to go on stage with Suicidal Tendencies, and that was really funny. So
nice.
Yeah.
Who else have you opened for?
What have we opened for, guys? That's also like Suicidal Tendencies, Christian, Soulfly was on there. A lot of heavy bands, actually. We just did Brand York. That was cool. Sons, was that band that we just played with?
It was, Carcass was the band from Boulevard. They're pretty big.
Yeah, Carcass. A lot of metal bands, which is funny. We always find ourselves in the middle of a bunch of metal bands.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's got that edge. You have a little metal edge to you, so it works. That's funny. Interesting to hear you guys go more rock or whatever you want. Metal.
Yeah, I feel every metalhead has like a little soft spot.
Yeah.
Got to go in there. So
they all have the Lita Ford song in them.
I'll hug me.
Yeah. Ozzy, little Skid Row, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What do you like from the 80s and 70s and stuff? Do you draw anything from that, or you really like the 90s more?
I like it all, man. We've recently uncovered this live session we did of a King Crimson song, technically really late 60s, but 21st Century Schizoid Man.
Yep.
We went into the studio here at Engine Room Audio, and they were doing like bands that had recorded there and they liked working with. They were like, come here and play like an old school song and let's record it live like they used to, kind of. So we did the King Crimson song. We all draw from, I think, everything. You know, we love Led Zeppelin. We love,
Pink Floyd is a band that the four of us kind of bonded over.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think, honestly, Pink Floyd's a good one. I think there's a band I could be a modern version of. I'd say Pink Floyd is that, you know.
Yeah. It's good.
Cool, but
It's good to strive for Pink Floyd, somebody like that.
Yeah, definitely.
The guitar playing in that is, I don't listen to a lot of it. It's not my cup of tea as much, but the guitar playing is very, I mean, it can get out there too. Like you just listen to it and just sit back. It's cool though. The tones and stuff.
Yeah.
I like anything sound. I think it's funny because we even talked about lyric writing a lot as far as like certain subjects. You know, a lot of singers, they like to be all over the place, or they always kind of stick with one subject and they kind of work around it. How's that with the lyrics? Do you like to kind of maneuver or?
I think one thing that's developed the most in the band, I'd say, is the lyrical content. You know, I think one thing that started happening was like, okay, I noticed that when you bring like a full idea, sometimes like it could be a poem or it could be like a full idea, and then it's like very concise.
Yeah.
And we always had this, and we really like, okay, I wrote this for my voice, so I'm gonna like, I would like to sing it, or like Daniel could be like, I wrote this for Tim's voice. So there was just we started realizing this big connection between the lyrics and the delivery between the lyrics.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things that we've really been trying to focus on a lot. You know, we talk a lot about just self-appreciation and this kind of embracing whatever side you have of yourself to really be free mentally and to really have respect for other people. We really try to have that positive thing. And then at the same time, you know, if you look at something better, it's a lot more political. And that was, you know, a lyric he wrote. And that's one thing that I think we've really been doing more of. And we're lucky enough to have 3 vocalists to be able to deliver those messages in different ways, you know?
Yeah.
My brother and I have a very similar voice. So if you want something to sound kind of, you know, that works for a lot of things. If you want a completely different voice, you know, he has something very different to offer. And we really been learning how to maneuver that.
So November 13th, right? You guys got a record, which is today. You guys out there, you're watching it today. It's out today. Go download it. Don't stream it, download it. That's what I say. I mean, that's my 2 thoughts.
I appreciate that, man. You know, when we can't tour, that's the only other source of income. So support all the artists you can.
Exactly. Merch, all that good stuff.
Yep. But yeah, November 13th today. We got 5 songs now on Spotify, and go check out the rest of our catalog and I'll just know what we think. So we're very active.
Feature music video too, right? You said another one?
Yep, that'll be coming out shortly after. But this is our 3rd EP, so hit us up, let us know what you think.
It's called If You Had It All.
Yep.
Someday I'm going to get you guys to do that black and white video.
You know what? Maybe on the show we'll have a black and white video to talk about.
All right. Maybe I'll, I don't know. I'll figure it out. We'll talk about it.
You can do
cool.
it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a good one. I appreciate it. Keep rocking all out there. Thanks.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, guys. Thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like and subscribe to all of our pages, NewYorkStateMusic.com. Stream and support.